Hello guys, welcome back. Now I missed you. I haven't uploaded in a little while, but let's get into the topic at hand. Today I'm going to be talking about the home ice advantage, which teams have played well early in the NHL playoffs in the first round, which teams have played well on the home ice and take advantage of it. And I'm not going to delve too deeply into the games itself, but I'm going to go into which series have gotten tilted because of which teams have played well on home ice, and which ones have surprisingly been some teams that have played fantastic on the road. So we're going to start with the series here. We're going to start with Winnipeg and Minnesota. And this is one of those series that has gone to the home team every single game. Winnipeg won the first two games in Winnipeg, and Minnesota in that third game won. And it's just been tilted by the teams winning on home ice. And that's a few other series as well going that way. A lot of teams are playing fantastic on home ice. Then we go to the other series, Pittsburgh versus Philadelphia. 2-1 that series is right now to Pittsburgh. One win at home for the whole series. So again, Pittsburgh I think got one win on the road. Philadelphia got one win on the road too. So one win in total on at home ice for either team in that series. Then you go to Vegas versus Los Angeles, and of course Vegas had home ice advantage. So they started out with 2 wins on the series, then had 3 wins. So it's a 2-win total for them, and it's a 3-game total win for the whole series in the entirety. Then you go to the opposite series of Washington versus Columbus. Of course, Washington having that first seed in the Eastern Conference, and Columbus winning the first 2 games in Washington. So that's the other way, where the road team has played a lot better than the home team. Columbus getting it done 2 games in a row. So again, that third game playing tonight, but 0 wins at home for total in that series. Then you switch over to Tampa Bay versus New Jersey. You have a total of 3 wins at home, similar to the Winnipeg-Minnesota series. Tampa Bay won the first 2 games in Tampa Bay, then New Jersey got a game back in New Jersey, and they won that, and that's a dominant home series right there. Both teams looking very good in their home ice. Then we switch over to Nashville versus Colorado, the same situation as the Winnipeg-Minnesota series, and the Tampa Bay versus New Jersey series. 3 wins at home. Nashville winning the first 2, of course, them having the home ice advantage really helped them for those first 2 games. And then Colorado, that dominant home squad, wins their first game at home, which is good to see, make that series competitive. But again, a lot of these teams are dominant at home this series. I'm going to switch over to the last 2 series, and again, another series where it's the home ice has been key. Boston versus Toronto, 3 wins at home. Boston winning the first 2 at home. Toronto winning their first in Toronto. So again, another series where the home team wins no matter what, and it's looking like a pattern here. The home teams are doing fantastic, and of course that's not looking good for the lower seeds if that keeps continuing to happen. Besides Columbus, they're in a bit of trouble. Then we go to Anaheim versus San Jose. 1 win at home for that whole series, of course. San Jose getting the first 2 games and winning both of them in Anaheim, and again, only 1 win again, and they get the win in their first game in San Jose. So that's a little bit of a pattern shaker there. Not necessarily the same style as the other series, but again, San Jose upsetting a lot of people that picked Anaheim to win a few series, including me. There's been 23 playoff games played so far, and 16 out of those 23 have gone to the home team, and that's dominant. Only 7 teams have gone, 7 away teams have won a game, and 2 of them are San Jose, and another 2 of them are Columbus, and that's taken up a huge margin of those 2. So 7 games out of 23 have gone to the away team. Again, dominant performances by the home teams for both a lot of series here, and you can definitely see the pattern of home teams dominating whenever they get home ice advantage. Again, home ice is usually very important for the playoffs, especially later rounds. You tend to see a lot of teams that have that home ice advantage win the Stanley Cup, and that's a big thing for a lot of teams. Even though there's a lot of upsets that happen, again, home ice advantage is still very, very important, and a lot of teams have used it so far. A lot of teams have been keying and have taken advantage of that home ice advantage, which is good for the fans. Definitely good to see the home teams getting rewarded for that. But again, it's very important, the home ice, for a lot of teams, and a lot of teams are taking advantage of it, which is nice to see, but again, kind of expected since a lot of teams do. And a lot of teams that have that home ice advantage have amazing crowds. Just look at Nashville, Winnipeg, Vegas. A lot of these teams that have that home ice advantage have been boosted by the crowds, and it's great to see, because a team like Vegas had one of the best crowds in the NHL a few days ago when they had that home ice advantage. That was electric to see. That game 1 was fantastic to watch, and I love seeing that, the home crowd getting into it so much. And it seems like Nashville and Winnipeg have been doing that for a little while, and Winnipeg especially using that wideout. It's cool to see a lot of good teams using special things, using kind of uniqueness with the home ice crowd. I love to see stuff like that, and that boosts the home ice crowd, that boosts the team in general too. Having that crowd be amped up more, it just makes an overall better morale for the home team, and a lot of home teams, and of course, are taking advantage of it and taking leads in the series. Except for Washington. Let's not talk about Washington, shall we? It's something going to be interesting to see how much home ice affects savings going forward in the first round, and even in the second, third, and fourth round. It's going to be very interesting to see which home crowds beat each other and which ones are really amping up the team, because a lot of teams like Winnipeg and Nashville, as I mentioned earlier, are taking advantage and are embracing that crowd and making it a part of the team, which I love seeing, especially for playoff runs. It really helps. It really has helped for a lot of teams in the last few years to get momentum in the series and really make a dominant home performance. I mean, just look at Nashville last season and this season. They've been fantastic at home, and they continue to use the crowd as one of their strengths. And I think it's pretty underrated how teams are being able to use the crowd as a momentum shifter. Another thing to think about is, what if Winnipeg didn't have home ice advantage? What if Nashville didn't have home ice advantage? I mean, both of those opponents, Colorado and Winnipeg, have won their first home games against them. So let's say so let's just put this out there. What if Colorado have home ice advantage? What if Minnesota had home ice advantage somehow? That would be really, really weird. What would happen there? I mean, Colorado maybe would have gotten the first two games. I mean, you never know, because Colorado, of course, won that first home game. Maybe Winnipeg would have lost both games against Minnesota at Minnesota. So maybe these series would have shifted if the home ice. I mean, home ice affects so much in series now that maybe if series would just shift if it were the other way. I mean, it's very interesting to look at what series would be the opposite of what they were if other teams had home ice advantage. Again, we listed out the dominance of home teams so far in the playoffs. Will that continue? I'm not so sure. That might continue. That might be another factor for the NHL playoffs throughout the whole thing. But I think away teams will start to learn a little better for the home crowds going into the playoffs in the second round and third round. I think it'll even out a little bit more, but I still think home teams will have the advantage. But again, I think it's a dominant race right here for the home teams. I think it will steady a little bit more, but for the home teams, if you're a home team and you got home ice advantage, you're looking pretty good right now. I cannot stress enough how important home ice advantage has been for a lot of teams in these playoffs and for the rest of the series to come. It's been a huge factor for these few games, and it's probably going to be a huge factor again going into the other rounds. So now that we're talking about this, I might as well talk about why I haven't uploaded in the last few days, I think it is. Number one reason is my Wi-Fi got cut out randomly just when I was sleeping. I think it was around 2 days ago. The Wi-Fi just cut out in the middle of the night, and again, I woke up without any Wi-Fi, so I couldn't really upload anything. So that was disastrous. So again, the last 2 days have been no Wi-Fi, but again, we got it fixed right now, or guys, a couple hours ago. I finally got it started on a new video because I needed to get one out sooner or later. But yeah, honestly, sorry for the inconvenience. If I wanted to upload, I would have uploaded before that. It's just the thing, my Wi-Fi cut out, and we're finally getting back to fixing it. But that's gonna, guys. Like and subscribe, and not ring that bell if you haven't. Tell me down below what you think about home ice advantage and how it has impacted teams so far. The Glenn Glutzen firing has just happened, so I'm gonna make a video right after this about it. I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.